Dan Campbell got in front of the media today on the 18th of December. I don't know what month I'm in. I can't believe 2024 is almost over, man. That's crazy. I'm 45 now, and time is really moving. I was just talking to my wife about that the other day. But speaking of time, we know that some guys are going to be out for the remainder of the season. We heard that John Kaminsky is done for the year, most likely, and that is going to probably mean that the Detroit Lions have to find somebody else that they can bring up. It's unfortunate because John Kaminsky was a guy that they really weren't going to get back to the playoffs anyway, and now it looks like he's done for the season. Dan Campbell said he just can't get over the hump. So that brings us to IR. Dan Campbell, and we made an IR video about a week ago, but now we got to make an updated one because now we have 3 more people added to IR, and we find out that John Kaminsky, who's already on IR, he was in fact the first person put on IR to start the season the day after cuts happened from 90 to 53. So now we have to, and we have to decide who's going to come back. The Lions have 10 elevations total, and we're going to go through this list. And Dan Campbell said it makes things a little bit easier because some guys are done, like the Sun done. They're done for the year. And now we have to decide who's going to come back. And John Kaminsky is one of those people that are probably done. And that's the hesitation, one of the hesitations with putting David Montgomery on IR, because you don't have to bring him back. And if you burn all your elevations, Monty's done for the NFL season. So let's take a look, and somebody count with me and figure out how many elevations we've had, how many do we have remaining, and who do we bring back. We'll probably do this for the rest of the season at least once a week, especially depending on who else is added to that list. Alex Anzalone, that's 1 elevation and 1 return, because we know he's coming back. As a matter of fact, his 21-day window can open. I believe it's already been 4 games. So that is 1. We know that David Bada is out for the season. We know that Michael Batchley is. Derek Barnes, he's another one. We have heard 0 words on him. There's no idea what's happening. I've not heard his name mentioned in about 3 months from Dan Campbell. I'm surprised nobody has asked about him. So that's 1 potential, 1 guaranteed. John Kaminsky, we heard that he is done. Marcus Davenport is done. Carlton Davis, that is going to be number 2. If Carlton Davis can return, he can be most likely back for the NFC title game. Speaking of that, let me cut real quick to me. This is a PSA to every single football player. Put your mouthpiece in. Put your mouthpiece in. Brian Branch, we need you, bro. I know he's not going to do it, but I would like to see that mouthpiece, unless he has one, but the green one is just cosmetic. Where every NFL player, please wear a mouthpiece. They said that the injury to Carlton Davis may have been prevented if the mouthpiece is in, and also they can cut down on concussions. If you are hit from below, it can help absorb some of that. So players, wear your mouthpiece. All right. Carlton Davis. Khalil Dorsey, we know that he is done. Connor Galvin, he's done. He went out early in the season. We know that he is 100% done. Antoine Green, he's also done. Aiden Hutchinson, that would be number 3. Potential person that can return. Hutch said in an interview that actually is on this morning. It released this morning. I forgot the name of the YouTube channel. It's got Taylor Ratner, I believe, the guy that from Twilight. He's a host over there. I think it's his YouTube channel. He actually interviewed Aiden Hutchinson. I forgot the name of it, but you're probably going to have it pop in your feed because you watch Detroit Lions content on YouTube. So I have not watched it yet, but he's one. Nate Lynn is done. We know Aleem McNeil's done. Ife Melifonwu, he just opened his second elevation, his second open today. His 21-day window opened today. That is 4. And Ife is responsible for 2 elevations. As a matter of fact, up until recently, he's been the only one that was elevated for that. We know that this guy is done. Pecco's done. Ennis Rakestraw, that's another one. We don't know what's going on with him. Is he going to return? Khalif Raymond, that is number 6. Jalen Reeves-Maybin, that is number 7. These are all guys that are not done for the season. Malcolm Rodriguez is. Makai Wingo, that is number 8. So if you're following along with me, we have Alexander Zaloni is guaranteed to return. He is guaranteed to return. Mekhi Wingo, all these other guys, we haven't heard too much about them, right? So we get 10 elevations, not to mention that Broderick Martin and Emmanuel Mosley burned an elevation. So Emmanuel, 1. Let me cut back to me. Emmanuel is 1 elevation. Broderick is 2. Iffy is 3 and 4. So is that correct? So we've only had those, Iffy twice, Emmanuel, Mosley, and Broderick, which is 4, which leaves us with 6. Okay. Thanks, B. Okay, so that means I won't release that video. But Emmanuel Mosley is 6. Or that leaves us with 6, okay? So now, knowing that, who comes back? Who are the 6? Broderick just should have stayed on IR. Wait, hold on. Let me, what? That's insane, B. That's the team he chose to go to? Wow. Wow, maybe he's looking toward the future. Okay, so Lions get 10 elevations because they made the playoffs. Who comes back? I think this might be final. Alexander Zaloni, that's going to be 1. 5 remaining. Derek Barnes, potentially, but not guaranteed. Carlton Davis, let's say he does. That's 2. That's 4 remaining. Aiden Hutchinson, they're going to leave a spot open for him. That's 3. 3 remaining. Who else? Ennis Rakestraw. That is 4. 2 remaining. Khalif Raymond, he's coming back. They're not going to keep him out. That's 5. 1 remaining. Jalen Reeves-Maybin, that is 6. He will return, which means that Mekhi Wingo is going to be the odd man out. That's what I believe. Now, it could be any variation. Maybe Khalif Raymond is more hurt. Maybe Jalen Reeves-Maybin is more hurt. Maybe Ennis is more hurt. Those 3 are up for debate, in my opinion. Hutch, they will leave a spot open for him. There's no way that they don't. So Aiden Hutchinson, they're not. That will be the final, the 10th spot and that's one of the reasons that they're holding off on David Montgomery, because if David Montgomery goes on IR, his season is over. They're not going to bring him back. There's no chance. There is a chance now, but once they get confirmation that it's no chance, then they put him up. He's done for the season. So he won't really affect this list. That's what they're waiting on as well. That's why this third opinion is so important, because they could put him on IR, but if they do that with the intent of bringing him back, they are going to wind up burning someone else who could potentially have come back at full health, right? So who do you think off that list? We've already gone through it. For me, I think the odd man out, not knowing the severity of the rest of these guys' injuries, is Mekhi Wingo. That's who I think, but it very well could be Ennis, because he had a hamstring issue, I believe. And it's kind of tough. Of course, you can't predict injury. And somebody put in the comment section, Kiera said, we should have left Broderick on IR. Maybe. He is turning out to be a colossal waste of space as a football player. A colossal waste of space. You burn an IR spot, but I will say this, and I made a video about it yesterday. This is his chance. He got 3 games to step up. So, maybe we don't regret it at the end of the day. But which one of those guys does not come back? Let me see what the comment section is saying very quickly. Jorge says Wingo is done. Wingo's done. Mekhi thought was seeing. Mekhi is season ending? I didn't know that. Okay, well then if he's done, then if he is done for the season, then he's done. Then he's done. Then that means they got exactly 6 remaining, and those 6 are the ones that I named, which would be, just going over, because they're telling me, I probably did know that, but I make so much content, it goes over my head sometimes, like it just gets buried. So the people returning, That means that literally anybody who gets hurt and needs to go to IR for 2024 is done for the season. That's what that means. They're either going to be inactive, and now you have to start doing some roster shuffling because David Montgomery is on the 53-man roster. He will be inactive this week, so he burns the spot and is no use. He can't be put on IR. No, if he's 21-day window open today. Yes, Kings says, don't they get additional elevations for the playoffs? They do. You get 8 for the regular season. You can designate 2 to return in the preseason that count toward that 8. And if you make it to the playoffs, you get an additional 2. We are including those 2. If Ifeatu Melifonwu has used 2 elevations, he's burned 2. So, for one last reference, who returns if Mekhi Wingo is out for the season? My guess would be Alex Anzalone. I mean, I don't know about Derek Barnes, but I'll just say Alex, Derek, Carlton, Aiden, Ennis, Khalif, Jalen Reeves-Maybin. Those are the 6 that return. Let me know your thoughts.